Okay, so it's better now.
There we go. Okay. So we kind of got a gist of how to run this thing. These are growing pains, we're still kind of learning here, but yeah, this is going to be our first episode, and to everybody, to all the new listeners, welcome. Kind of bear with us as we're trying to learn this platform and format and the general, how we're going to discuss this. And yeah, I'm with my co-host Mariano Chiesa. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, welcome to our listeners. Thank you for being there. And we are starting this new podcast, trying to be as entertained as and informative as we can, talking about technology, talking about new trends, and talking about life itself because life technology is all around us.
Yep. And me, I'm Michael Vega. Work at Mathison Projects Inc. And yeah, I thought it would be a great idea to kind of start a podcast here. And yeah, let's dive right into our first topic, which is um, remote surveillance uh, and the workplace. And I kind of want to present the good, the bad, and the ugly. Do you know anything about work surveillance, Mariana?
Yeah, I actually took a training, I don't know, 15 years ago when this
Wow.
kind started. Yeah, this thing started from a company called Aranda, and it took, I don't know, it was a week, 1 week training, and it was a really cool feature when you are not being monitored by it because it's yeah, it's a really cool feature. You can tell everything that's happening in on a one guy's or a team or your whole company uh, computers. But when you are being monitored like this, it's like Big Brother, you know?
Yeah, it really is. It really is. So it has a lot of people worried. There's obviously going to be opponents and proponents of remote work surveillance. So first, I kind of want to discuss what it is. It's a software dedicated for remote workers where they can pretty much listen through your microphone. They can activate your webcam and even do some keystroke logging to pretty much see what you're typing as well. And the software is actively recording what you're typing at any given time. So, and the website you're going to and who you're communicating with. So it pretty much encompasses your whole computer, and it has a lot of people worried. And the software can be installed on employees' work laptop or phone or tablet, with or without their knowledge. Obviously, there's laws pertaining to that, but there are some employers where they don't even have to inform their employees. Um, assuming they read their terms of service, right? And it got really popular during the pandemic, and even post pandemic, even after 18 months, employees are still working from home, and they're still have this surveillance software. Um so I kind of want to discuss why it even got so popular. You said it was 15 years ago that they had this software available, right?
Yes.
So 15 years ago, now fast forward to today, it became so much more prevalent and almost necessary during the pandemic where everything shifted towards remote work. And that's when companies, they suddenly had to start switching remotely. Even the online searches for the term employee monitoring, it skyrocketed to an all-time high. And a lot of these demands for these tools, they increased by 74% during COVID. And what's like the main reason you could say that there was for this push for remote employee surveillance, and that was pretty much the fear of losing productivity from their employees working at home. So a lot of these employers, they thought, all right, everybody's going to be working at home. Possibly they might be slacking. So we need to mitigate that. But however, and this is like a very surprising fact, is a study concluded from the consulting firm at Mercer that 94% reported worker productivity either stayed at the same levels or they even improved, which is surprising, right? So,
I'm not sure. I'm
yeah.
sorry. I'm not sure if that's a surprise because I've been working from home for 10 years or 11 years now.
Mhm.
And before that, I was coming and going, working from home and working in an hybrid model. And the thing is, I'm not sure what happened in other countries, but here in Argentina, when I used to where I used to live, you have a lot of travel to do between your home and your work. So
Mm,
people is happier when gets the chance to wake up later, sorry, and get home earlier and be ready earlier to be with their family. So I think the most people are grateful and take advantage of that. So that's why productivity improves. At least in my case, it happens because I work in short and I get the chance to have lunch with my baby, and I get the chance to at 5 p.m. Central, I get the chance to leave my work and go to the supermarket and not have to think in if it's gonna be traffic or if it's gonna be crowded or if it's gonna rain or if I wanna have traveling to home. So I'm happy for that, and it's gonna be real difficult for me to go back to an office.
that's so true. Yeah. And being I can even attest to that. Is yeah, you kind of have that sense of being grateful, right? Because being able to obviously wake up at your own time, set your own schedule. I mean, obviously, it's upon you because at the end of the day, you have to be productive. You have to put in the work and produce. Now,
Yes.
yeah, and I can see why those that are grateful they would want to make everything in their power to keep that job, and I can see why they would even be even more productive um, working from home. Um, and that can cause some stress then when you do have that remote software because now you're kind of towing the line of, do you trust me as an employee? Do you trust that I can get my work done and that I can manage my own time myself? Um, and that kind of goes into the bad of the remote software, remote surveillance software, and that it can cause a lot of stress. And in one study, remote workers revealed that 56% felt stress and anxiety due to being monitored by their employers, with 41% constantly wondering if they were being watched. How would you feel, Mariana?
This is really negative because if you feel like somebody's watching all the time, it's
Hmm.
really bad. It's like being, I don't know, if your wife calling you all the time in all premises, if you are getting monitored all the time by your wife, by your, I don't know, school teacher, or by your boss, is really
Yeah.
bad for you because I think I also think that trust is something you earn, you
Hmm.
need to deliver because nobody knows you, and you need to deliver and be a productive employee before the company trusts you. But uh, it's like the paid forward movie, you cannot blame people, the future people that comes to the work of on your life, for mistakes that somebody else made on the past,
That's very
so
true.
you should trust your employees, you should give a vote of confidence, and if they fail the first strike is really more important than the second or the third, because the first strike is the one that break the trust. and
Yeah.
and I understand that people getting annoyed or stressed because being monitored or not knowing if they are being monitored, like Big Brother. I am going to use the example because it fits perfectly. They never know if people is watching, so they always need to be acting like Instagram, always smiling, always at top of their game.
Yeah, and we don't really know the like the negative implications that it can cause, like psychologically, right? That impact
Yeah.
of what it can do, like as it compounds with time. As we're looking at this trend, it would be interesting to see like how many needed therapists, how many needed, some sort of treatment after, because hey, if you're constantly being monitor watcher, I feel like I feel like when you have this remote surveillance software, it's a little bit different and a little bit more intrusive than, let's say, you were just working at an office. When you're just
Yes.
working at an office, even there you have some sort of liberty, and Big Brother isn't always going to be watching what you're doing on the computer, right?
Yes, actually it does. If you have one of these softwares, you will be monitored 24/7. So it's more stress than an office.
It's funny because I saw like this. It was this lady, and she was a remote worker, and there was a webcam, so she had her webcam footage on, and behind her was the kitchen. So, and a timer went off. She was cooking something. She got up, went to turn off the stove, came back. It was about like 15 seconds. At that point, somebody chimed in and said, "All right, we're gonna need to talk to you, because you're away from your desk." And there's even like it's automated. So like even if you step out of your desk for any given time, they're alerted, and then for even if it's for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, they're alerted, and there could be repercussions for that, which is, personally, I think it's a little bit ridiculous. um at that point, what kind of company culture are you trying to illustrate there?
I have two examples. One, to support that, I know a company that makes you 24/7, or all your time shift, work shift, sorry, have the camera on. I know two or three of those companies, and I think it's ridiculous because
Hmm.
I'm not sure if I want to get a comb up. I'm not sure. I need to
Yeah.
work, not to model, But and I know another one when you are doing some test for Cisco, which is
Hmm.
a networking company. You need to have a camera pointing at your face and pointing behind you another camera, showing that you are doing the test and not copying or switching
Yeah, yeah,
screens.
yeah. I know about that one. I've done those tests before. Yeah, the proctor test, right, where there's someone in front of you, and or not someone. I mean, rather, there's a webcam looking at from, like, in all aspects. They even wanted to see around my living space. They wanted to see, all right, what do you have around you, just to make sure that you're not cheating. And you know what? I mean, it was pretty intrusive, although I do understand where they're coming from. So obviously, they want to prevent cheating. Cheating isn't good. It
No, no,
lowers the standards across, what somebody's trying to apply, or get certain certifications or degree or whatever. So
exactly.
there is some good around it, and this goes into the fifth kind of like point that I want to make, is about remote work surveillance. Is there is some good, and that is that it can help with reporting. Um, so I feel like one angle that a company can kind of approach with employee monitoring is more or less using it as a tool to help prevent employee burnout or the possibility of being overworked. And because if you're monitoring an employee to see if to kind of micromanage and see if what they're doing wrong isn't, or what they're doing isn't right, that can cause stress. But if you take it as at an angle or an approach that, oh, I'm going to monitor you not because I want to find something wrong, but because I want to see that you're not being overworked, or and that you're okay with the workload. um, how do you feel about that approach?
Yeah, I used to have a boss that told me at the beginning of our relation that he's not gonna micromanage me. He trusts me, and we are gonna have one uh, yearly revision to check my objectives, my goals, and whatever I accomplish. And I should get all of them done, or get justified why I couldn't complain that, because if not, I'm gonna lose my job. So I really appreciate that
Hmm.
approach, because they trust me, they know that I can deliver. So if I cannot deliver, it's because of a good reason, and I'm clever enough to give them the chance to correct that. So I love that.
Yeah. And in this instance, it allows for managers to reach out to their employees and say, hey, let's say Martha is having some issues and she's kind of getting burnt out here. So,
Yes,
um, can somebody else cover for her? And so
yes,
you're able to kind of see in real time what's going on, kind of like an overview, and that'll help employees kind of like offload some of the work, and it allows for them to unwind and recharge.
yes. Actually, with agile methodologies and Scrum and sprints, you get the chance to reassign resources within minutes, and you are really efficient, and you take advantage of the workforce as the most. So you don't overbook your workforce. You don't need to do overtime. You don't need them to work on weekends. So you get a better management of your resources.
Yep. So yeah, I feel like as long as deadlines are met, you know, then the software can allow employers to kind of trust their employees and then provide feedback if it's warranted. So yeah, though I mean those are kind of like the positives, you could say about this remote work software.
Yes, actually, this is positive. I, I
Hmm.
think we need to find a balance between the company's interests and the employees, because that's the important part. Everyone's here or is in the company to make money. The company is building a business, and you are getting a job to make money. So you need to deliver what you are compromised to, and the company is paying you for that. So it's not bad for being monitored. It's not good either if they don't let you know that they are monitor you. And
Yeah,
in any case, it's good if you are taking off for 15 seconds to the bathroom, to attend the ring door, or whatever, and you get complaint about why you leave your desk.
exactly.
Mhm.
So yeah, that kind of concludes this topic for Mathison Talks. For those kind of listening, yeah, let us know in the comments. We will be posting this on Twitter, and yeah, now help us kind of gauge our approach and to see how we're doing. So we definitely appreciate the comments. I do want to thank you all for listening. This has definitely been a topic, like a hot button issue in the tech world, and again, well, thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks, Mike, for the topic. Thanks for the chat, and please join us on every week on this podcast, and talk about this on your social networks, and please share our Twitter at Mathison Talks, and we welcome you next week.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.